Alright, guys. I have returned, and sadly, it is on this note of this event that occurred just 2 days ago, I think, at this point. I didn't make the video right away because I didn't want to talk about it until more details were out. We kind of know where everything stood. But, yeah, Raja Jackson, the son of Rampage Jackson, nearly murdered Psycho Stu, a professional wrestler, in on a Knox X Premier fake wrestling event. But Raja didn't take too kindly to Psycho Stu because of something that occurred on the stream. I will not be playing the beating, by the way, because if you really want to see it, you can go find it, but there's no need. But I will be showing you some of the build up, like why this happened, my thoughts on what should happen to Raja, and just some of the boneheaded reactions from around the world, from around the MMA community mainly, though. But without further ado, this is what started the entire situation. This clip right here.
Yeah, I remember that. He's my favorite wrestler because of that. He beat the fuck out of him. Yeah. Where's the real McKill at? Where's he at?
You don't need to worry about him. You need to be worried about Psycho Stu.
Psycho Stu?
What, you don't know me?
Hell no. Yeah.
Hey, I think that's a little.
Now I will say, he shouldn't have slammed the can on his head because he didn't know that he wasn't a wrestler. But you could tell it did not hurt because the can is just filled with air. It's not a full can. If you hit him over the head with a full can of anything, that would have hurt a lot more than this, which is it's open, air can escape, and he didn't even hit him all the way, just enough to crush the can. And if you're Raja Jackson, this happens right here, right now. You just get a can hit in your head, and you punch Stu right now. Nobody faults you for it. It's just like I had no idea he wasn't actually trying to beef with me, kind of thing. Like he would have been like, I'm sorry, I didn't know it was a fake. I just felt the can get hit over my head, so I retaliated. That is, that's all well and good, but for him to do what he ends up doing is just unacceptable. Because we can even see here, somebody has a pin in the comments right here. Yeah, John's Cotty, right here.
Make sure he get it.
I appreciate it.
I didn't know. I thought you were at work. You stay with the camera.
I get it.
We're not working out. Well, he gonna come out on your mat, too. I know you keep thinking we're working. We're always working.
I get it. Yeah. I get it now. Now
You know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
We're always working. So we'll set it up. I'll have him come out during your mat so we could fucking seal the whole thing and we'll make something out of it. You know what I'm saying? All right.
Well, now you just involved fucking Rampage himself.
Yeah. So as you could see, Stu apologized, and you could even hear Raja say, "It's cool, I understand." Like he fully acknowledges the apology, says it's okay, says he gets it. So for him to do what he ends up doing is just insane. And let's see, where else? Right here.
Ready to take control of your future? At Universal
Ads.
Technical Institute, you can train to turn your passion into a career. With 15 hands-on
Yeah, W. Lloyd. Lloyd's cool. No, I'm beating this guy's ass, bro. I'm trying to see how long I get to stand there for. I don't know how long I get to stand there for.
Yeah, bro. Why his friends did not, maybe step in and say it's not a good idea. Anybody around him is cameraman, nobody thought that if his intention is to go hurt this dude really badly in front of a public audience, cameras on, there could be some repercussions. No, they just let him go do this. That's incredible to me. Like incredible how nobody decided this was a horrible idea. That he's never done any like professional fake wrestling. He's already had a previous issue with this guy. This is just remarkable stupidity on everybody, including why can't I think of his name? It's like Rafiki, the guy who owns this. He's a former WWE guy. He's in the thumbnail. I for some reason I'm blanking on his name right now. or just anybody in general, anybody who decided it was okay for Raja Jackson to enter the ring, it's just remarkable. Nobody thought it was a bad idea, and even after I'm not going to show him jumping in the ring. You can see right here. I'll go to after. This is him after he gets out of the arena, and they're all attending to Stu medically.
Tired of motherfuckers playing with me, bro. Real shit. One of them a bitch and fucking bit me. I'm tired of everybody fucking playing with me and shit. Think I'm always playing and shit. Call me bitch and shit. Not no fucking bitch, bro. At the end of the day, I'm gonna stand up for my fucking self because I'm tired of everybody fucking playing with me, bro. Real shit.
And then this dude over here, this dude just out of nowhere comes. I don't get why he did that, but yeah, his ego is so fragile that when somebody mistakenly hit a fake can over his head, then apologized, he then took that as a message of everybody thinking he's a bitch, and then he needs to go prove himself by nearly murdering a man in front of an entire crowd of people just for him doing his job, essentially, because he thought he was supposed to sell something because of the camera that was there. It's just ridiculous, man, how people can have such little self-control and how their egos are this fragile that this ends up happening. But as if this wasn't bad enough, there are people who... Do I have this Chael video synced? If not...
Wrestling that don't know pro wrestling. The wrestler will actually tell them, just hit me.
Yeah, like Chael goes on to say, some wrestlers just say to just hit me. But I don't think any pro wrestler ever would say, slam me unconscious, then hit me 22 times while I'm unconscious. And not like fake hits, no. Real hits where if there was nobody around, A, Raja would have killed him, and B, Raja Jackson's hands would be mush because he would not stop hitting him until his hands were completely broken and just mangled. Which I can do an entire video just on Chael's response in this video, but then he makes an even worse like follow-up video to this.
Lay out something along these lines. Well, what you just described is every wrestler that was on the card that night.
No, because not every wrestler on the card that night attempted to murder the guy they had a wrestling match with, but continue.
Every single wrestler hit the opponent they had, whether you won the match or lost the match.
Yeah, but not nearly to death, but continue.
Every opponent took a fist, threw it at him for the entertainment of the crowd. Supposed to be controlled working shots is what they call this. Raja was throwing potatoes.
I don't know what he means by this. Like if everybody's supposed to, whatever Raja threw were not working shots. They were not coordinated. Neither was a slam. Even if he just slammed him and he got knocked out and then Raja left it, he could have just claimed even if he meant to do that, he could have just claimed that he had no idea what he was doing, and it would have been let go. But no, it's the follow-up shots that really did it. But I don't know what Chael's going on about, but he goes on for about another minute with something stupid. We'll let him continue to talk.
But your idea that you have all the evidence that you need and you can prove premeditation, which escalates this, by the way, from an assault to attempted murder.
Oh, you want proof that there is premeditation? Let's just go back to here.
Yeah, W. Lloyd. Lloyd's cool. No, I'm beating this guy's ass, bro. I'm trying to see how long I get to stay in there for. I don't know how long I get to stay in there for.
Yeah, if that's not premeditation, I'm not sure what is. He's literally talking about how he wants to beat his ass. That's all he wants to do, is just go in the ring and beat him. And he doesn't know how long he gets. He wants as much time as possible to just wail on him. If that's not premeditation, I don't know what is. All he's thinking about is going into this ring and beating Stu for as long as he's allowed to. But anyway.
And all the evidence that you need, you've got. because Raja himself told his live stream that he was going to do this, and he was going to do it to seek retribution for the disrespect he was shown for being hit with a beer can. Once again, before we get into whether I saw exactly what you saw, but before we get into that, we're discussing it from a standpoint, okay? And you always have to remind people of this. You do not get to go arrest Al Pacino for selling cocaine and chopping people up with machetes because you just watched an episode of Scarface.
Yeah, because that is clearly an acting job. There's no medical reports in real life of the guys Al Pacino was hurting in Scarface being recorded in a hospital. No, but there's a real GoFundMe and a real hospital in a real place in the real world where Psycho Stu is recovering, where he was choking on his own teeth after the barrage of punches from Raja Jackson. This is just such a nothing burger of an argument. Chael just trying to say because it's supposed to be fake that we can't incriminate Raja when we clearly saw that what he was doing was not fake. Just because it's supposed to be fake doesn't mean it was fake. We know Al Pacino isn't selling coke and cutting people with machetes, but we do know Raja Jackson just nearly beat a man to death in a ring. So this point from Chael, it's just dense, man. Like it really is.
You don't get to decide as the viewer where the show ends and real life begins.
No, but we can decipher it. We can decipher when there was blood pouring from his face that the show was over and real life it got very real, very quick when there was just blood all over the face of Stu. Raj is getting dragged and held by 6 people. It's no longer fake at that point. Like I really don't know what Chael's point is right now. It makes no sense.
Because you're so skilled and talented that a good worker doesn't have the ability to fool you. And I'm going, yeah, but John Cena just did that. He just did that it sold 80,000 live seats that booed him on Monday night, and by the pay-per-view on the weekend, we're cheering him. And what I'm sharing for you is that if you're in the position of the police, before you go in guns blazing and throw a guy down because of a professional wrestling match you've seen, you do not have a choice but to speak to what you were declaring to be the victim.
So what he's trying to say is that they have to speak to Psycho Stu first, and he has to be the one to brush charges. Now, I don't know if I think I saw somewhere that Psycho Stu is now awake, but it should be up to the family first of all, because God knows if Psycho Stu's in the right mental space to make this type of decision currently. We don't know how that damage affected his brain and his decision making. So first of all, it should be up to the family, not Psycho Stu. And second of all, this shouldn't even need a word from Psycho Stu. If anybody, whether the guy who gets the beating wants to report it or not, the danger that Raja Jackson presents to the rest of the world because of his lack of impulse control, and the ability that he has to hurt people as a trained mixed martial artist, it is just not safe for him to be roaming around the world. I don't care if Psycho Stu wants to press charges or not. Raja should be in jail regardless. He's clearly just a menace and danger to society, and he should not be able to just be walking around the streets after doing something like this. Regardless of Psycho Stu could drop all the charges, Raja Jackson should still be prosecuted and thrown in jail, regardless of what Psycho Stu says. Psycho Stu could be best friends with him after this. He should still be in jail because he's clearly just a danger. It was a ticking time bomb. The bomb went off, and Stu was the unfortunate recipient of the explosion. And Raj, this Chow, it's just the most boneheaded, dumb take I've ever seen.
And say what do you want to do? You agreed to have this guy that's never done a match that you were told on video is not a worker, which means he's not a wrestler. He's never done this. You said, put out the video of me busting the can over your head, let people know, and come get your receipt in the ring.
Yes, this I do agree is on the promotion for even letting Raja hop in the ring at any point. Why they did that, I have no idea. But it is also up to Raja, a 25. He's older than me, Raja, a 25-year-old man who, like, how do you just lack that much self-control that you can't refrain yourself from beating somebody nearly to death? I don't. That does not compute in my head. Never in my life have I thought I wanted to beat somebody to death, especially over something so little as a fake can being hit over your head, and there was an apology. It's not like Psycho Stu. Even if Psycho Stu didn't apologize, this is still very unwarranted to just go ahead and try to kill somebody. But Psycho Stu, there was an apology. He apologized to Raja for what he did, even though it wasn't that. Like he should have apologized, and he did. But it's just, it was such a non-issue after that apology that it just makes no sense. It makes no sense that Raja would do this. And the chat is also a big factor. We'll get to that later, but I don't know if there's much more for Chael, if he hasn't much more to say that I want to cover.
Now, I understand that no reasonable person, we're talking about Psycho Stu here, who, by the way, is a family man, he's a veteran, wonderful guy. None of us are led to believe that he thought he was going to get his jaw broken and his teeth knocked out. But that is a very common thing for a professional wrestler to tell somebody that's never done it before. Hey, I don't know how to throw a working shot. Do I open my hand? Do I pull? Do I hit my, like, I don't know how to do this. Hey, don't just hit me.
Yeah, but no professional wrestler in the history of professional wrestling has probably ever said slam me unconscious and hit me with 22 strikes after I'm out cold. Nobody's ever said that.
I'm a professional. Just throw the punch. I'll roll with it. It's quite literally what the Big Show, just by example. And this happens all the time, but by...
I think he rambles about this for another minute, so I'll leave Chael for now. I think that's it. That's all I have for Chael, but it's just ridiculous that somebody who's in this space, I don't care if you're friends with Rampage or not, how you don't just immediately say throw Raj in jail is beyond me. It's more than just what happened. It's the mental thing with Raja, where he should just be going to jail for beating some dude regardless. But if you have that little impulse control, there's clearly something deeper rooted inside that individual that makes it more dangerous for them to be outside roaming around the streets. Who knows who's going to ignite that bomb again and it'll go off. You can't just have somebody like that who is so reactionary and impulsive like that able to live in the world and be free and have the ability to do that to somebody else. You can't let that happen. If you're California, you have to throw him in jail. I would say at minimum 20 years. This dude shouldn't be out till the 2050s at least. 25 years. You can come back out in the 2050s maybe. You'll be 50 years old. But this is just ridiculous. Like, you just threw your entire life away over a fake can being hit over your head. I'm just at a loss. But, we're going to move on to somebody else who has a dog shit take on this topic. Who else but Sean Strickland? I'll rate it out to you if you're not looking at my screen right now. But Jackson's kid shouldn't go to jail. Prison should always be last resort. I was arrested at 19 for two felony GBIs. I would have spent 5 to 6 years in prison if the DA had its way. After 6 years in a cell, coming out with nothing, being indoctrinated with gangs and violence, I guarantee I would have killed somebody. There was one guy telling me about how he picked up a murder charge. I remember being impressed by him. That would have been my future. Instead, I plead and took 100 days in jail or work release, a ton of anger management, and a decent amount of victim restitution after a miserable 2 years of court. Luckily, a lawyer took my case for free because I didn't have a dollar to my name. Bottom line is it's not about the person in prison, it's about who they become and when they're out of prison. And I believe if I wasn't offered that deal, I would be dead today and more than likely would have resulted in someone's death as well. My 2 cents, rehabilitation over prison always. Now, Sean Strickland. A, you're not the psychopath you say you are, bro. You have you've done nothing to anybody close to what Raja Jackson did to Psychos 2. You are suspended right now because you landed one bitchy punch to some dude in an MMA cage and you attacked Dreykus. And you punched a dude in Australia as well. But you're not. I guarantee you, if he would have knocked out, say, that dude in Australia in 2 punches and he was on the floor, you're not following up. You're not landing 25 unanswered strikes while this dude's unconscious. There's just a difference. There's a difference between fighting somebody and then beating somebody to death. And just because you would have gone to prison 5, 6, you wouldn't have murdered anybody when you came out. I don't think you would have. I don't think you're that psychotic. Raja Jackson, who knows? I mean, he's already tried to murder somebody. I don't think him coming out will increase or decrease the chances he murders somebody. It's just not how it works. But yeah, Sean Strickland, just terrible take per usual. Like, I don't know. Like, why is this even a take? What's this one? Oh, this is also crazy because just listen.
But the most disgusting thing is that people at this school are being encouraged to not cooperate with the police. From what I hear, the police were there investigating the scene shortly after Stu was removed, and there has been multiple requests that have gone downstream from upper management to not talk with the police directly if they are contacted, and to
I'll help
only
you in a
let
second
a certain group
with
of individuals interact
QR
with the
code.
police. That is extremely dishonest. You guys let your friend almost die, and now you're trying to have people lie for you. And fuck you to every single person who replied to them, yes, sir. You are all weak sacks of shit, and I hope you rot in hell. You are wasting oxygen that other people could be breathing. Go fuck yourself. And if
So Knox Pro is encouraging their students to not cooperate with the police because they don't want bad press. I mean, the bad press that's out there. The WWE dropped them and said they're no longer working with them. I don't know what benefits them by not working with the police. It would just give them, if they were to work with the police, it would show how sorry they are for this unfortunate event because it's their fault also. They had no way of knowing Raja would do this, but you also just don't let random untrained people go into your wrestling ring and do this because something bad will happen eventually, just like this. And the fact that you're not going to help one of your own, you don't want to help one of your own in Psycho Stu, who I've seen this whole thing where he's been there since day one, and you care more about brand protection than doing the right thing and helping an innocent guy who almost got killed under your promotion at your event. You care more about the bad press than you do bringing Raja to justice, getting him locked up, and essentially avenging Psycho Stu in a way. But you're so selfish. You care about yourself and your brand. You're protecting yourself over your wrestlers, your employees, pretty much. That's just despicable. I don't know who from Knox Pro said that, and I don't know who from Knox Pro agreed with that, but something tells me that Knox Pro's not going to go on for too much longer. Anybody not cooperating with the police that is working under their banner, it's just a waste not to. You're going to be jobless regardless. You might as well have some good faith and look like a good guy going into the job market for another wrestling promotion. You don't want to be the guy that gets fired from your job and you protected a psychotic attempted murder that happened. It's just ridiculous, man. And just to wrap it off, we have some boneheaded takes on the internet all the time. That's a very, very common occurrence. But yeah, UFC roster watch, bro. UFC roster watch. Roger Jackson punches a man repeatedly in the face while I don't know if this is the tweet. Oh yeah, here it is. Wake up, folks! It's a stunt performed by incredible actors in the ring. The result executed to perfection. Roger Jackson, now famous. Congrats and a welcome to the clown show. Now, why would you say that? Why would you say that? Like, what are we doing? It was clearly not fake. There was blood gushing out of Psycho Stu's head and face. He's choked on his own teeth. Roger Jackson obviously pissed off. There was a very real reaction from the other wrestlers in there. I mean, look, you got the views you got, but you probably lost a bunch of followers. Roger Jackson proceeds to smash Can over his head and watch him do nothing. Wake up, you deaf cunts. No, I think it's more. It is more psychotic that Raja did not punch him then and then waited to kill him or punch him and try to kill him. It's just these horrific, horrible takes from. This is like there's more people than just UFC roster watch, but you could just read these for yourself. You could pause the video if I scroll too fast, but they keep saying it's a performance, it's a performance, it's a performance, but no, because what good press does that get you? That's another question about people saying it's performance. What good press does that get you? You almost think you almost murder somebody. Why is that good press? They say no publicity is bad publicity, but in this case, this is very bad publicity. He's never gonna be allowed to kick again. He's never gonna have a streaming career again. He's never gonna have an MMA career again. Nobody's gonna hire him for a job. They don't want to hire the attempted murderer that is Roger Jackson. The only way this dude gets a job is if he works something privately for his dad, but he will never escape the shadow of his father. He will never be any sort of successful after doing something so stupid like this that it makes no sense that you think it's a performance, that you think it's just fake. I it's just so brain dead. And there's a lot more people like UFC roster watch over here that think the same exact way. But yeah, guys, I just had to make a video on this. I will now that I got some more time freeing up, I will be back to more consistent uploads. And yeah, let me know what videos you guys want to see me make in the future. I hope you enjoyed this one. Oh, final thing. Psycho Stu GoFundMe will be linked in the description. Please, if you can, go donate to that if you'd like. And anything else I think of to put in the description, I will. That whether it be like the social media, like whatever. But the GoFundMe is 100% going to be down there. And yeah, I hope to see you guys in the next one. Peace.